In this deliverable, we added three new additions, which is numbers 5, 6, and 7 in the table of contents. And for the feasibility study, we updated economic feasibility, schedule feasibility, and the Pert analysis. And the last thing we updated was project portfolio management.
Hello everyone, this is Nazmul and our team name is Fantastic Five. In our team have Natalya, Joana, Mohamed, and Said. And I'm go through the business requirement for this project. And the first question was gathering requirement for the business user. So we are able to contact with our client Kate, who is the owner of the property protect, and the Aaron is the web development programmer, and Slack is a way we are talking to Kate and Aaron if we need it, and she's really good with responding quickly. And also we are able to communicate with email, and she was emailing back right away. One thing we like about our client is Kate knows what she want on her project on her website, and if we are going to different path, she will correct us, which is really great for us. And also Aaron is her primary programmer who has a very knowledgeable in the program, and we are able to contact with Zoom and also emailing back and forth and getting the information for the project requirement. And what record from and report do we get from this gathering requirement for this project? Kate was give us the kind of knowledge about the website, which is this. And you can, if you go there, you can see is a similar. She was showing us she wants a similar kind of project, and this is also the information that show what kind of materials have under the COFA. COPA is the website that's already developed on. As you see here, Copa is a similar kind of website she show us, which give us really good idea what she need. Under the Copa, what kind of program and what type of materials technology they are using, we are able to do our research to find it all kind of information, what kind of the API they are using, and also what kind of service the server they're using, and also what their email server, and all kind of information we are able to find it under this program. As you can see, there is a requirement she provide us for her project, which is this. And also we have the what kind of technology we are using. We already show this one, and on next one is and how it's gonna be look after we uh, uh, develop the website. Is not exactly same, it could be the different, but this is the kind of giving the idea how it's gonna be looks like. So after we gathering all the information, we are able to provide offer the new service for property protect, which would be the people will submit able to book or rent the property, and also the property owner will be able to advertise their product, their item on this website. Is kind of compared to the Copa. There is the competitor is Copa and Airbnb, and also the requirement is we are having Zoom meeting to holding meeting with Zoom, and we do record our Zoom meeting. And also we use Slack app, which is for communication. And also we use the email for the as well as the communication. No interview we have been created for persona, because client have the general information for persona for our business. And thank you for listening me. I'm handing over to Natalya. Thank you.
Hello, this is Natalie. As we move along in our project, we now have to determine types of clients that will be using the new platform. Knowing the client is important so we can meet his expectations and know the exact functionalities he's looking for on our platform. We have determined 3 types of personas for our platform, which are property management group, homeowner, and a temporary renter. So the first one is the property management group. This will be our main client. The reason we should focus on this client the most is because this client will bring us the most revenue without spending without spending much on advertisement. We can simply cater to property management groups, and they will bring a lot of business as they take care of a lot of properties. Our next persona, our next client will be a single homeowner. It's basically a homeowner who has one, two, or three, in general, just a couple of rental properties that is looking to rent them out. This is also a good homeowner. This is also a good client. However, our client Kate does not want to invest a lot in advertising, so it will simply be more of like a, if they come to our platform, we will accept them. And the third persona will be a temporary renter. It's basically somebody that's looking to book a property for a short term and is looking around for good deals. For this particular persona, once again, we are not going to be advertising. It's a client who's going to be coming to our platform on his own.
I will be going over the organization and prioritization requirements. So I listed the first four as essential because if you think logically, this is all very beneficial for the client. Now I put Google API under useful because it's useful, but it's not necessary because WordPress already has a calendar booking function. For the design constraint, I'm mostly worried about the speed and performance because if the web hosting server is not properly configured, um, the entire website is going to slow down, especially if we don't have our photos compressed or optimized. And for design, we're still researching on how to design a template for our web page profile builder. So for the two software we chose to prioritize, we did the pick chart and the weight-based analytical approach. And the weight-based analytical approach is kind of based off the pick chart. So to determine usability for both, we listed it right here, usability. It's a high cost because if the website is not easy to navigate, customers are going to go to competitors. And then it's a high value because if the website has an easy workflow, people kind of like recommend it to their friends or family. You know, the service speaks for itself. And for usability in weight-based analytical approach, I'm just basing it off of PicChart. This is my reasoning for why this is a 9, this is a 9, this is a 9, and this is a 9, because it's like extremely important. And the priority just kind of breaks it down that it's the most important. And for, let's say, let's talk about the API, the Google Calendar API. This is kind of like overall ranked the lowest because, it's replaceable. And I won't go into too much detail about the rest because of a time constraint. So I'm going to move on to the next part. So, in summary, each requirement value has various levels of priorities or importance. We kind of organize, the pick chart and weight based analytical approach in a way where we can easily determine which to prioritize first and which to prioritize last. And that's gonna save us a lot of time, and then we could manage how to use that time more effectively. Overall, usability, performance, and security is ranked the highest and most important in both of the softwares, because without them the website wouldn't function. And they're kind of difficult to achieve because more research goes into the coding process, such as fixing bugs, how to boost the website speed, and making sure the website is fully protected through security measures. On the other end, the lower scale of values is Google Calendar and the logical database, because it's kind of easier when implementing these when it comes to the technical process. Um, for example, there's like a bunch of API tutorials on YouTube, and Microsoft Excel will be used to create the logical database. So um, it doesn't really require a lot of effort to do them, and that's why I rank them at the lower scale. When comparing the both of the softwares, they're pretty much the same because I based my weight-based analytical approach off of the pick chart. Based on these results, I think that when developing our project, it's best to have a few iterations that contain many requirements. That way, we're able to focus on one or two requirements at the same time. So, we're going to go with RAD, Rapid Application Development, because it's more efficient when we're able to catch problems early on, and it's going to be easier for us to develop and improve our project.
Next, I will move to the drawing models, and in these drawing models, I will be talking about the use case diagram, which is one of the diagrams that we chose to build for our project, for this project. So this use case diagram is telling us three things. What's the system that we are building, who is going to use the system, and how it's going to be used. So for this first question, what system that we are building, so we're working with an organization called Property Protect, which is short-term rental policies, which is trying to provide the website builder for for its clients, for the hosts. So these hosts will be able to create personalized web pages where they can post their listings, and through these pages, hosts will be able, renters will be able to create, to book and check out. So who's going to use the system? It will be basically the CEO of the organization, the hosts, and the renters. So how it's going to be used? So hosts will be able to register at first if they are new customers. They will need to register to the system. Then if they are returning users, they can just log in. Once they log in, they will have access to their account where they will be able to create their web pages for their listings. Through this creation of the web pages, they will be able to upload information about their listings, such as addresses, locations, availabilities, and prices, upload pictures and videos. But also they will be able to buy insurances, and actually it's required for them for using the services like this website. It's required for them to purchase rental insurances through the organization. So once it's created, there will be like a link which is generated automatically to them, and which they will be able to share with their clients, with the host's clients, in different platforms or in different ways. So once everything is done, the hosts will be able always to come back to their accounts to maintain their listings, like using a dashboard, using like their accounts. So basically maybe changing the prices, updating the information, and so on. So for the renters, they will be able to click on the links generated or shared with them by the host. They will be able to click there and start booking and checking out for locations or places that they want to rent. For the CO, they will be able to sell insurance policies, which is generating revenues for them. Also, they will be able to generate commissions from each booking. So each time there will be a booking from a renter, a percentage of this charge will go to the organization. In addition to this, the CEO is thinking of creating a membership phase after 1 year of using or launching the project. So that's how the system is going to be used, and all this information I put them together here under this small organization. So I listed all the use cases. The use cases with the actors, the type, most likely all of them will be primary. So they will be like all important use cases, and the description that I just went through in this diagram. So I put everything in order here until here, yeah. So answering the question, how does it relate to gather the requirements? So when designing this use case diagram, we took in consideration the majority of the requirements which we gathered in the previous parts of the project. Despite not going in details with the use case in the diagram, we made sure that all these requirements concepts are applied through the whole system. For example, like we have usability requirements such as easiness, simplicity, and frictionless workflow. And these ones are presented in the diagram, so it shows like a step-by-step process which is easy to use, and there is no overlap between use cases. And that's, for example, like for the performance requirements such as speed and efficiency, so we're taking this one in consideration too. For example, we will be creating a system which responds fast to comments and allow information to load in short period of times when creating the web page.
Hello, I'm Mohamed, and today I'm going to be taking you through our data flow diagram model. So here we have our data flow diagram, which we developed after talking with our client and gathering our requirements. It's a high-level data flow diagram. Here on the left, we have the renter external entity. We provide the renters the ability to view the property listings, and if they choose to do so, they can provide us with their order information, like their availability dates and such. And then that gets fed into our calendar availability process, which is we're going to be using iCal, hopefully next semester. After that, we're going to authenticate the customer info and provide them the option to log in with their account or create one if they don't have one already. And we also give the host the ability to control the calendar separately and update it or set off block off dates that they may want to use the property on or such. And we also give our host the important ability to maintain their property listings and update them as they see fit. And we also have a payment confirmation process that processes the payment info of the client the renter, and after it processes it, it updates the host account receivable database, and then it gives the renter an invoice or receipt. So when we talk to our clients about these models, they did give us some feedbacks and asked us to revise some details, specifically on our data flow diagram. They told us that the calendar, it needed to be a process instead of a database. In the beginning, when we created this data flow diagram, the calendar, we had it as a database, but they gave us the feedback that no, make it a process. Also, changing some of the terminology, we had to change some of the terminology to make it more clear based on feedback from our client. And lastly, the client asked us to streamline the whole process for the renter. The challenge in explaining to the client these diagrams was that these diagrams are at a high level right now and on purpose. Also, at first, the client had trouble figuring out where to start reading the diagrams from. They asked us where they should look first. And finally, some of the terminology specific to the diagrams had to be explained to the client. So these models support iterative software development by having distinct processes, discrete processes that can be isolated and worked on separately and iteratively throughout the semester. For example, our calendar system is separate from our payment system, which is separate from the authentication system. So these processes and systems can be worked on separately and iteratively. This specifically relates to the project plan via the multiple releases that we have scheduled for next semester, such as Release 1, Release 2, and Release 3. That was it. Thank you.
Hello, this is Tahanout, and in this part of the presentation, I will be talking about the updated project plan, updated Gantt chart, and the use case diagram. So let's start with the updated project plan. So since we gathered all the requirements from our clients, we decided to add the last step of the project, which is the implementation. So in this implementation, we divided it into 3 iterations, and in each iteration, so for the first iteration, it will consist of software development, where we start implementing the requirements, then as a testing of the system, which we will get, where we will get all the feedbacks and the comments from our client. Then we will move to the second iteration, which is basically the same as the first iteration. Then once it's done, we will move to the third iteration, where like we do the software development like according to the feedbacks and comments we receive, then test the system, then deliver a final project or final product for the client. So in total, this last step, it will be taking 80 days, and it will start from first day of school, January 25th, 2021, and it will take all the way until May 14th, 2021, which is last day of school. All right, and moving on to the Gantt chart. So basically, by adding this implementation step, we look that our Gantt chart is updated. So we have this gap between the end of the design step, and the beginning of the implementation. We have a gap, and that represents the winter break. And we look that the implementation become critical, since we started January 25th, and it will end on May 14th with no slack time. So we have to meet our deadline, which is the last day of school, for providing our final product to our client. Then here I will be responding about the question, how much, based on our updated Gantt chart, how much does the project 3 most important requirements cost to build? So adding the implementation, we see like an additional $35,200 to our total cost, which is making it $52,304 like in total. And like for the question, describe why and why not these numbers make sense. So we believe that these numbers make sense because the duration of the project is 51 days. Thus the average cost per day is approximately $346 per day. and that depends on who is working in the project in these days. So sometimes it's only one person, sometimes it's two people. That's why it's a little bit high like this.
In addition to Said's update for the schedule feasibility, we also updated the Pert analysis, and we included 3 more activities, which is release 1, release 2, and release 3. And now overall, our project time should take around 133 days. For the economic feasibility, we also made updates to the operational costs. Instead of triple CMS, we're changing to WordPress, which is cheaper. Although our development costs increased based on our Microsoft project, it's up to $52,304. And I'd like to take a look at the break-even point. So it's only going to take them half a year because our client, their income is high. It's going to exceed the amount of total costs. So the total cost is lower than the benefit. And that is why it's going to be easier for them to meet the break-even point in half a year. And now I will let Natalya present the last part.
After Said updated the schedule to include all the steps of the project, in Microsoft project, our costs increased. With this in mind, the project portfolio was also cost was also increased. However, the solver chose the same project option as the last time, meaning that solver recommended to do the project using our services.